they're missing some decisiveness in this game and this previous game. I know that obviously their composition wasn't the one with as much agency in comparison, but it still felt like there were times where they needed to have that go, as was demonstrated on the space, and they just kind of lacked that. So we'll see if maybe they have a bit more of that here. They are now on the blue side this time around.
Yep.
A lot of picks taken away in Fearless. You know, with the Yunara and the Varus being gone, often things we see banned pretty high priority throughout the series. So those off the cards just free up a little bit of that ban economy.
Yeah. It hasn't freed up the Pantheon. Last time Life made that heroic sub in, you know, the Pantheon was available, and they managed to pick up a victory with that one. Not going to happen this time around, as the Pantheon Orianna going to be the two bans to start us off on the side of the Bros, and we're focusing on the jungle here, as Poppy, Xin Zhao have been taken away. Then the Taliyah will be the answering ban.
Yeah, Xin Zhao makes a lot of sense with Trundle being taken off the cards.
Yep.
Vi open and available, Wukong open and available, Nico still open and available, which Bro banned last time. So Bro could ban the Nico here and trade the Vi and Wukong. Wukong, at the moment, definitely the one I would say preferred by most teams. That pick's been doing really well. They go in a different direction, though, and ban away the Ambessa. So Nico's available, Wukong's available, Vi's available, that were all banned away last time. And DNF will prioritize that Wukong, which I think is definitely the right call.
Yeah, I think Wukong does make a lot of sense. They can still threaten the Aurora if the Gwen is going to be locked in, so I don't expect there to be a top lane pickup here for the Bros. But maybe some sort of Vi combination could be coming on through here for Bro.
You know, with
they'd like to.
With the Ambessa banned, I mean, could Bro even go like Gwen or Aurora themselves and then...
Oh yeah, true.
Because the close is a mean Aurora, and you deny that counter, you give the Gwen over with the Ambessa gone as well. I mean, I guess they could take the Rumble, so that's still on the cards, so maybe they don't go that angle. But I feel like the Rumble matchup not as punishing as the Aurora. But now they'll just go the Vi, so we see that trade in junglers. Not too much surprise there.
Yep. You could just Vi Aurora, actually, and then flex the Aurora around to make sure that that Gwen isn't coming in, and then pick the Gwen if they don't...
Vi Aurora, Gwen on 3?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they might go in that direction. This really limits, because if you go Gwen or Rumble here for DM Freecs, you're going to be in with a bad time. And then it sets up that third pick for Bro to be in a really strong spot, so it looks like they might go that angle.
Yeah.
And now DM Freecs have to consider their options here.
See what Dudu does want to do. It is going to be the Rumble. I feel like this is the best of a bad situation, and it is blue side Rumble, which we do like a lot better.
Yeah.
Cyclone and Equalizer together are also a lot of wombo combo just in 2 champions. So let's see what Bulldog is going to do to augment this, as the Aurora could be going towards the top side of the map. And if there is a matchup that they don't really like, they can flex her into the mid lane as well. That's a Viger.
Yeah.
Let's see what Bulldog does actually want to do here.
Honestly, personally, I'd love something like a Rakan here, just because it's always going to get banned second rotation.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's not really going to get responded by Bro. But they end up going for the Annie instead, which is something Bulldog has played. I believe he's played this. Actually, I think Close has played it more than Bulldog has, but we'll bring this out very strong with the Wukong. We've seen that combo quite a lot of engaged threat.
Yep.
So a lot of agency from the top side. And now, Bro, we'll see where the Aurora is going. Obviously, it's a great matchup into the Rumble, so they might just stick it in the top lane for Morgan.
Yeah, they could actually put it in both positions if they would like to, or hold on to the flex. Not too bad, and they are just going to lock away the Alistar.
It keeps the pressure up, you know. You have an option that can go into both lanes. It's a great matchup in the Rumble. It means that it's harder for DM Freecs to ban, and now you've secured the Alistar, which is so often banned away and denied from that R4 pick, and you can ban away, you know, the Rakan to deny it from that Rakan-Wukong combo we see teams love to get their hands on, but never really get that many chances to do so.
Yep. See what they do decide to take away here, as the Nico is going to be the first ban. Maybe Nico Rakan is going to be taken away here. And DN Freecs, a little bit more difficult, as they want to be banning mid lane, top lane, 80 carry, sort of everything.
Probably just have to go for the 80 carry bans.
I feel like Jhin does fit this composition quite well.
I think Jhin does fit the composition very well. Definitely something that can play at that range, because there is a lot of 80 carry threat, but Jhin is that pick who can just sit miles away and contribute. Sivir going to come out. I think Sivir that movement speed and also the spell shield value quite high. So we're going to take that one out. It has to be the Rakan here.
Yeah.
And it will be. And I would imagine
Civet Jin could just be the bans.
Kai'Sa also, I think, for Hype specifically. Hype has been really big on the Kai'Sa, so it definitely would fit with the composition. So I could see them taking that one away.
If they do lock in the Kai'Sa, it's a lot of magic damage, so maybe that's why they might be shying away from it. Let's see what the bans are going to be here from the DN Freecs, though. As time is ticking, what is the decision going to be? As it is the Kai'Sa ban to actually come on through, so not going to be seeing that one. Could just be a comfortable Jin lock in here and keep the ambiguity going.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you already know the solo laners, so
true.
It's not too much of an issue to kind of show your hand now. But you could also just, if you want to lock in the Jin now, you could take it. You could also take something like the Corki as well, I think would be okay.
Yep.
Something that Hype has played a good amount of. And definitely pretty high prio in the LCK in total, and he will lock that in. Has the Valkyrie, you have a decent amount of range on your rockets, and you have the Valkyrie for a bit of safety, so I think there's some 80 carries in this draft would feel like a sitting duck. I think Corki has some tools to play around with. And also the lane's not too weak, which is one of the concerns, that you lock both your bot laners and one of them's an Alistar. If you have a weak laner, it could be a little concerning when you don't know what you're playing into, especially with the consideration that DN Freecs looking at a Lucian, so could just end up here being a Lucian Braum. Definitely not the funnest lane to play Alistar into.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good round out of this draft, and the Gwen will be locked away. Made it all the way through. Not exactly the most fun matchup, especially into Blue Side Rumble. So Morgan going to have his work cut out for him.
And I feel like DN Freecs kind of held their nerve and kind of were like, okay, well, yes, you can flex the Aurora, but we don't think you're going to, and they didn't. And now it's a matchup that Dudu's pretty fine with into the Gwen. The Aurora in the mid lane, I think you're fine with having the Wukong Annie. Honestly, I think Wukong Annie higher prior right now in the LCK.
Yep.
The bot lane matchup, Lucian Braum into Corki, Alistar's good early matchup. So I think DN Freecs, all things considered, they kind of held their nerve. They picked champions that are, they're comfortable with. And despite this flex looming over, it didn't really come to fruition. So I think DNF pretty happy with how things panned out overall. But Bro still have some good tools under their belt.
Yep. I think that Bro's composition certainly snowballs extraordinarily hard, right?
Oh, yeah.
The Vi, always one of these champions where once you can just choose a target, ult them, and they're dead, things become very, very difficult for the opposition. But the DNF comp looks very similar to what we saw Gen G absolutely dominate with earlier in the week as well. I believe that was yesterday. So we'll see whether they can pilot it to a similar effect, because a lot of these lanes we're feeling pretty happy with. But the Bros in the last game just looked like the better team. So is that going to be what rings true here in our second match, or is it a 3-gamer? I hope it is.
시간사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift for the second game of this series. DNF just playing for pride at this point, but the Bros, they are playing to make sure that they can lock in a position in the play-ins. Remember, the bottom two teams here in the Rise group will be eliminated. No chance of getting to the playoffs whatsoever. And there are 3 positions in the play-ins available.
Yeah, and realistically, with how things are now, Bro is the only team in the top 3 of Rise really under threat. I think BNK I don't think they're mathematically safe, but it's one of those situations where they're in a very comfortable spot.
Yep.
Whereas Bro, they are under real threat. If they lose this series, they start to lose more, they could go under, and DRX could close the distance. BNK, yeah, again, they're not mathematically locked, but a very crazy timeline would have to happen for them to end up in 4th from 2nd right now with 11 wins, so.
All right, Polo going to place himself here in this brush as Berserker and Life waiting for an opportunity here. Berserker does give away his position in that brush. I think they're pretty sure that Life is going to be there as well. Nice piercing light, as Life will be able to find the Winter's Bite.
And it's going to be a lane where Polo and Hype are on the back foot. Especially we saw nerfs to Corki in the early game. He got a little boost in terms of his ratios and his ult and his Q, but his early Q damage did go down a bit. It's not too much of a concern on the early trading, but it does just mean a little bit less wave play, a little bit less trading power, and you're already on the back foot in this lane, so definitely more focused on farming up and just playing it safe, especially as you have that cleanse into barrier. So if you go in for a heavy trade and Lucian just barriers, you're going to be for an even worse time in terms of where the health ends up.
Yep. And I think this mid lane is going to be a pretty important place as Pyosik making his way in already at level 3. The flash out from close-up, but the follow is going to be there. The flash forward! And there is the first blood going over to Bulldog. Right as I was saying that this was going to be a point of power for the bros, Pyosik comes in and says, no, it's not.
Such a great gank angle and such a great timing, because I feel like if you gank even slightly later, once Closer has level 3, and look at his XP bar, how close he is. If he has his W, that gank just doesn't work. You maybe get the flash, but you don't get the kill. But he finds the angle, he comes in, the stun is set up by Bulldog, and it's pretty perfectly played. Again, the stun is there, he doesn't have that dash, he doesn't have that invisibility, he has to flash immediately, but the Wukong's there to follow. And he feels safe, he's leaning towards his top side because that's where his jungler is.
Yeah.
They even have a ward on Raptors, so he's thinking, okay, give it 5-10 seconds, I'm going to see the enemy Wukong on that ward, I'm perfectly safe. But instead, Pyosik finds a great angle to loop around, just really well played, and a great start, and a lane that you don't often manage to find ganks, especially as a Wukong onto an Aurora early on.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, Wukong is generally known as one of these champions that does like to hit level 6 before anything really happens. Speaking of which, Croco also going to make his way in, as Bulldog just gets himself out of there. Stun at the ready, so not under too much threat, just trying to be annoying. Double Scuttle looking to come in here, though, as Pyosik will pay for his early aggression just a little bit. First Blood, though, going to make him feel pretty happy nonetheless. But as you can see, I mean, gold-wise, Croco, as we saw, he was just doing the Raptors while Closer was dying. And that has actually paid off, as the gold in the jungle position is absolutely even.
Yeah, Sob coming in now, though, which is exactly what Bro want. You can see the top lane matchup, Morgan having a rough time here. Is keeping up well in CS, though, so credit to him despite the health condition. But bot lane was also on the back foot, so this swap could not come any sooner. And
this is not looking great either for Morgan to make his return.
I will say he does have exhaust, so maybe if Croco can come down, can give him some assistance.
Yeah, it could be an option. You can see Hype and Polo just going to try and zone Dudu away as best they can, especially with Polo now joining the lane. But it's in a pretty decent spot here for Dudu. As you can see, it's going to be pretty balanced. And Hype is going to be hitting these minions, and so that means that it will be pushing towards the Rumble pretty comfortably.
Yeah, and he's not too far away from 6, won't get out of these minions, but once he does hit it, I feel like that's one of the things with Rumble in these swap situations, is eventually you can kind of just ult the wave and play defensive. This, though, Croco's actually moved up towards his top side, and Morgan's isolated, and Annie is moving down, so Morgan's not getting the protection. He's on his own. Yep,
he's going to have to try and be a Gwen is immune type situation here, but it is getting real rough. There is the concussive blows, and Life comfortably tanks up that turret. A beautiful dive, and they'll be rewarded with plates as well. And Berserker picking up that kill, going to be huge here for DNF. Headbutt Pulv is going to connect onto Dudu, but he is just going to take a little bit of damage, otherwise be absolutely fine. And the answers here for the bros just aren't...
Oh no.
Why Morgan, why are we doing this? The exhaust does come on through, but he's just dead again. Yeah, I don't know. There's a nice little headbutt, and they will be able to answer. No, never mind. Dudu is just going to keep himself alive, and he holds the wave away from the turret at the same time. Oh dear. This has not gone very well for the bros.
Oh, the slow!
Hype is just going to pick it up with a fast bomb. I actually thought that maybe it was just going to be all over, but that is going to be a plate going over to at least Closer in that mid lane. But Pyosik will be taking down this dragon. It's Feats of Warfare already completed for DNF. Oh, 3 games are looking so good.
I mean, this is just so well executed. Just the walk up, slow play, get the passive on. Everyone dives inside the shroud, stuns up, and then the call to TP back in. Such a mistake, and you can see DNF already waiting around.
Ward.
Yeah, and the thing is, the same play comes out. This time, Bulldog tanks, and he just starts to walk out towards the back end. Really easily done. Here, I was kind of talking about, Dudu ends up hitting the level 6, ults most of the wave, and then here, able to just survive long enough to flash away with the extra movement speed, stalls the wave out, And the thing is, yes, he ends up going down here, but he has TP as well. So this is just a much better situation than what Morgan ended up in.
Yeah.
And you can see, you know, look at the bot laners. I think, you know, you look top lane, there's not that much of a lead in favor of Dudu, but look at the bot laners. Berserk is 700 gold ahead of Hype right now, 20 CS and a kill lead. That is not how you want this bot lane matchup to have gone.
You certainly do not. As Life puts up the door here, and this was already a fine matchup for Berserker, and now it's looking even better. That Essence Reaver so incredibly close for this Lucian, who is managing to weave a lot of piercing lights through Hype, which is working very, very nicely. Not end of the world or anything like that for the Bros, but it's a great start here for DNF.
Life actually getting level 6 before Berserker, which, you know, it's just funny because it's so rare we see the support getting level 6 first, but he's ready to rumble.
He certainly is. As Pyoshik going to be starting up these grubs. Information there for the Bros, as we do see a question mark ping on the grub camp. Morgan coming up just to try and eat some honey fruit, keep himself healthy. His close is going to be rotating over.
I don't think he can contest this, you know. Dudu still has TP.
Yep.
Morgan doesn't. Morgan has no way to stop Dudu's TP as well.
Hype and Polo are holding the wave as well, so there is no way.
And there's just no way to contest this. So, I mean, it's a right call from Bro, but it kind of shows how this game has quickly gone in a pretty uncomfortable position. Dudu, even the calls made, it's like, guys, they're not contesting us on the top side.
Oh, yeah, ulti going to connect there onto Hype as Polo just going to play defense. So the ult not necessarily working out here as the Winter's Fight does also go wide.
Berserk was, when he dashed in, he only had 70 mana, because I think he was looking for an ult on a Hype there. Didn't quite have enough. But I love this play from Dudu. He ults the wave. He knows, guys, we're clear on grubs. They might make a play bot side, so he ults the wave, backs away, and look, Morgan and Croc are hanging around for him. He does walk up here, though.
Yeah, he actually just basically said hi to Croco without seeing him, and then just continued to the wave. Pretty cute. Let's see whether they can actually make this dive work. Of course, there is no ulti for Dudu. Double teleports coming in as Closer is down here as well. They're going to see whether they can take out Dudu before that teleport completes, and they will be able to do so as Closer goes between the worlds, but it's a double teleport. The double pole is also fantastic, but under the turret they go as there's the snip from Morgan to lock down another kill. The Aurora will be going down, but it's a trade up for the Bros. At least they can hold on to that.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a caster curse coming out there, which Chronicler would tell you doesn't exist. Well, there's evidence.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of evidence, don't worry.
Dudu feels like he's safe. It's like, guys have double TPs to cover this, but it comes him just a bit too late. Again, he doesn't have the equalizer this time around. He used to clear the wave earlier. They clear him out and basically get away, but then they opt to stay in because they bring Polu in. The Alistair can obviously tank for so long, and Pyoshik gets there to try and help with the cleanup late, but I mean, Bro got so much from this. And this was a situation where I think Bro were very kind of disconnected from the flow of the game. It felt like they just weren't really able to find anything, and now that was a big influx of gold. But yeah, Wukong and Annie been doing pretty well in the Rise group.
They certainly have. It's an interesting time to bring it up, though, after there was a little bit of a flub in DNF. A little bit of the tempo going back in the favor of the Bros. I would say that the vibes are still there for DNF.
Maybe it's like a bit of encouragement. Like, don't worry, DNF, guys.
It's fine. Yeah. And honestly, like, the DNF fans here at Lolpark especially have just been so incredibly vocal. Every time a player came back to sit down in their chair ready to play, there was a huge round of applause for each individual player as they were sitting down. It was just incredibly heartwarming to see here from the DNF fans in Korea.
That's the sort of thing that means so much to the players as well when you have been having a rough split.
Yeah.
And you can tell that, like, it's been tough. It's been rough for DNF and the players, but they've never given up.
Nope. Pyoshik also now has his Trinity Force done. There was that initial spike of the Sundered Sky for Croco a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
But now at least that's met.
Wukong's in this weird spot because obviously a lot of the junglers in the meta are really abusing Sundered Sky, and he does, it comes later, but that 2-item spike from him is so insane. So, you know, Croco a bit gets that spike earlier, but when Pyoshik hits 2 items, he will be cooking.
Yep, it's kind of ludicrous. Ooh, Earth, Wind, and Fire might be the option here, as the Bros are going to be starting off this second dragon of the game. Feats of Warfare were completed very early here for DNF, but Feats of Strength haven't quite been confirmed just yet. just one objective or turret, and they will be able to lock that one down. As Pioshik is in position, there is Earth, Wind, and Fire confirmed. That's fantastic. Polo going to be moving over as Morgan with the needlework, looking to try and take down some Tibbers. As Polu is in a bit of trouble. He does have the Unbreakable Will, but it's not going to last forever, and it's only level 1. There's the Cyclone, and the immediate double kill does come in. Closer, can he make it happen? The answer is no, because he's exhausted, and that's just 3 on the floor for the Bros. DNF pull it right back.
So well played. Polu, again, is there to defend. He's exactly in the right place, but there's just not enough backup. Croco's not in position, Closer's a little late, and the cleanup is so well played by DNF, especially Life doing everything to set up Berserker there. The exhaust was great just to deny the burst damage from the Aurora. And everything's going swimmingly for DNF in this one, other than that little hiccup in the bot lane.
And there is no vision here for the Bros, by the way. All of their vision is on bottom side to try and get them that second dragon.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is Polo thinking, okay, 2v2, we got this. More come in, he's like, I'm an Alistair, but the thing is, the damage reduction at level 6 isn't actually that high, so they're still doing a good amount to him, and they weren't taking tower aggro, so they then just cleaned up those 2 kills, and here the exhaust comes through from Life with the shield as well to stop the burst from finishing him off, and then Berserker just cleans it up when he has no cooldowns. Just really well played.
Yep, gorgeously done. I think that exhaust got so much value. That could have been Closer just nabbing a couple of kills, but wasn't the case. As the Bros well and truly on the back foot now, as you can see. 2.3k, the gold advantage.
We get the little dip, you know, and then the big upswing, right?
Oh, and now we just need to make sure that this is not history repeating itself, because there was a time that we did see Bro make a bit of a comeback in this matchup. I don't really like reminding everyone of it, but it could be happening once again. Last time around, certainly a few more stakes in it, as DNF weren't actually defeated. As okay, there's the Vault Breaker flash. Is Bulldog just going to be executed? They'll take Tivers as well for a bit of 50 gold on top. And that's a kill going over to Morgan there at the same time. So nice little pick back. It's going to close that gold gap just a little.
Kind of just explode him, you know. Good setup there from Croco to find that kill. And again, just a little answer back. Not too significant overall, but picks like that will make a difference if you get enough of them.
Morgan getting a little scary now, the only one with a gold advantage on the Bros.
Yeah, it's just really hard with the flash coming in to layer the CC. There's just a limited response here. You can even see that, you know, Pioshik and Life were in the vicinity, but when it's that quick, there's just not a ton you can do.
Yep. As Croco now looking to do it again. Doesn't have cease and desist available, as there is a control ward here.
No.
Yeah, Bro just going to set up the teleport and equalizer just to deal with the wave. Dudu knows that he's dead. Not even going to use the flash or anything like that. Morgan comes down. Pioshik going to be answering this with feats of strength. Actually going to be completed earlier with that turret falling down in the mid lane. It's a big investment from the Bros.
This is not a good trade for the Bros right now. You're losing 2 towers. You're losing the Herald. This is not working out too favorably, and the fact that Dudu gets the ult the wave as well. I mean, look how healthy that tower is. You know, Morgan's not getting
they didn't do damage
value. Yeah, so you know, yes, you ruined Dudu's scoreline. I'm sure he's really sad about that, but
I mean, the gold didn't actually expand. Like Morgan was on like 600 ahead. Now it's only 550.
Yeah. So I think Dudu making the right call in this situation. Just slam the equalizer. He knows his fate. Doesn't burn anything. Doesn't burn the flash.
Well, Morgan is now going to be able to take the turret,
yeah,
so there's at least that.
I guess holding the TP as well is the main, because Dudu could have TP'd there to defend the tower, but they opt not to use it to defend the tower, instead saving that for later. I will say one thing that's kind of come out of this, you know, we talked about the Aurora being a flex, being able to potentially answer the Rumble. Even though it wasn't a lane matchup, Closer's now laning into Dudu, and Dudu is not having a fun time.
Oh, Rift Herald. They're going to get the entire outer ring of turrets very comfortably here. DNF keeping up the tempo nicely as Life in position, just to be frustrating. And the Bros just want to catch Shelly as she's making her way through, deny that extra charge. That will actually come on down. So she's at least not going to soften up the inner turret. But now the map has become so much smaller here for the Bros, so much less space to work with. As Bulldog clearing out a lot of this excess vision. Next straight going to be up in 9 seconds time. This is well played from DNF. This is the time of the game that they have been pretty good at.
Yep. Yeah, definitely feels like this is the point where they've had leads, and this is more what we expected. Game 1 felt like a bit of an outlier because...
All right, Closer looking for Dudu here. As all right, there's a fight. Cease and desist comes on through, and Croco tanks up the turret for about a year, and is very happy to do so. Now he's going to look for a little bit of a reset. Life going to be moving up here towards this top side. An opportunity to head towards the dragon. That's exactly what Pyosik is going to do.
Not a good place to be, it feels like, for DNF, is that top lane tower. Just another good punish from Croco. Will sacrifice the dragon, but they get this tier 1 tower, and it feels like just these little picks, these answers, Croco setting up plays and finding things, punishing people on the side is working out pretty favorably overall. Dudu didn't even get a chance to ultimate there to clear out the wave. And sure, it gives over the dragon, but it's a long way away from Soul right now for DNF, so I think Bro making some good moves there. Again, keeping the gold lead close. I mean, compared to Game 1, where it's that constant flow upwards, this is going to be a very jerky gold grab.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Like, as far as triaging the disadvantage that they did have in this game, doing a decent job. Still, don't want to take anything away from DNF. They are in still so much control, so much power in this game. So we're going to have a look at this one more time. Croco just making it impossible for Dudu to be able to do anything at all.
Yeah, I think, honestly, Bro have done a pretty good job of just assessing when there's a side of the map we're not interested in. Let's do something on the other side.
Yeah.
Just a snappy response that, in fairness, DNF haven't done a bad job of like being aware of that, but just when you're a little slow, when you're a little behind, you end up getting punished. It's happened twice already this game. They need to be on the watch out for that.
Well, here's a fight for the red buff, as the Bros, I think, are about to just give it up. Yeah, DNF going to be able to claim their prize. So no red buffs available here for Bro. And Croco was actually looking to try and answer, but there is no red buff on the other side. So
Gwen is just Gwenning, though. That is something I'm a little worried about.
Yeah, there is a bit of snipping going down towards the bottom side of the map. 1.6k is a considerable lead.
Yeah, I will say, though, part of it is because Dudu is really starved. So, like, if we compare...
Yeah, it doesn't have a massive amount of money, but has way more than Dudu, as he's dead again. The exhaust goes down. Morgan able to dash away from that last turret. Oh. Bulldog comes in and just says goodbye. And down goes the Gwen. Another stun is going to connect here onto Croco as well, as the Bolt Breaker is blocked gorgeously here by Bulldog. As Croco not even going to be allowed to flash away. Pyosik says goodnight. And that's a 1 for 2. Dudu pretty happy about sacrificing himself. I mean, he's not even worth all that much gold anymore, I could imagine.
Yeah, and a good response comes in from Bulldog. The flash as well to secure the kill onto the jungler. Well played there to get the 2, so more gold influx there. And it's just repeated punishes, answers in the side lane from Croco. Eventually, DNF find the response that makes them pay. And yeah, the point I was saying is that Morgan's closing in on 2 items, but you compare, Berserker's almost got his 3rd, and his 3rd's an IE, which is an expensive item, so his Lucian is very strong.
Yeah, he's been the main benefactor of this one. That lead is not really answered.
Yeah, you can see total gold. So, like, even though Gwen has a massive lead, her gold's kind of in line with, like, a lot of her team. Whereas on the other side, everyone on DNF, apart from Dudu, is pretty far ahead, and Berserker's really, really far ahead.
Yep. Follow just going to be denied it back here.
It's basically support Rumble vibes, is what we're getting at the moment.
Yeah. It's not exactly equalized, unfortunately. As he's Rumble. Probably something that should be. So they go for this dive. Last time the dive worked out pretty well. This time around, doesn't quite work. The equalizer, once again, fantastic because he doesn't lose that much as far as minions are concerned.
Yeah, and also
at least there's that.
The slows that came through, just making sure that when Bulldog does get there, very easy to answer Morgan and then able to follow up on Croco. And Pyosik just makes sure that Croco, I think, was expecting him to try and get the flash over to the Dragon Pit. Doesn't let that happen.
Yep. Very nicely done. 40 CS, sorry, 30 CS, going to be the lead for Berserker as well, who has just been kind of dominating in the neutral game that's been going on as there's been insanity in the side lanes. Still, the gold lead hasn't really extended that much over the last 7-odd minutes, something like that. An Arakan fight might be on the menu. Oh my goodness.
When in doubt, just start Arakan.
Exactly. I think that that's exactly what both teams should be doing right now. Just starting Arakan, because why not?
Yeah. Life gets it.
He gets it, man. It's probably just been sitting in the coach's booth, you know, hanging out with Rapid Star, and Rapid Star's like, why aren't we just starting Arakan at all times?
Is bot lane, which Bro are unaware of, but it's a dangerous position to be in when Arakan is very much on the opposite side of the map.
Yep. He might even be tempted to take a red buff as well, but it looks like that's not going to be punished. Oh, goodness me. Okay, there is an Infinity Edge completed. Berserker is out of control.
Yeah, and bro, I mean, they have decent setup around the Arakan. Croco's on, Pioshik's on bot side, but they just didn't have the information, so they don't start it. Which I get, like, they are behind, they don't really have the confidence to go for that, but it's just one of these situations where I feel like Pioshik's been a little greedy, you know, picking up those camps, hanging around there, but just bro don't know, so what they don't know, can't really act on.
No.
But they've devoted so much focus and attention up to this Arakan, whereas DNF,
I think they need to start it or do something.
Because they're giving up control of the Dragon area, and Dragon's up in 15.
Yep, and it's going to be Soul Point as well.
Yeah, if you just let them take Dragon, and all you're doing is moseying on around Arakan, then it's really not going to work out favorably.
Well, now you got Pioshik moving up here towards the Arakan. There's still that one ward in the Baron Pit. That's about all they've got, as the Drake is going to spawn. Morgan gets the shove towards the bottom side of the map. Dudu will be catching that wave. The gold lead for the Gwen is still definitely there. 1 level advantage as well. So he's scary. Teleport at the ready, so he can come up here, try and make something happen. As Polo not too worried about getting stunned up by an Annie or anything like that. Pioshik looking for an angle towards Croco here, as Closer could also be in trouble. Tries to go between the worlds, but he's just stunned up. And that is a dead Aurora before she can do anything at all. Does do a bit of AoE damage, I guess, but here it's Arakan time for DNF. And the bros, do they have an answer? That's the question. Hype off to the side, kind of awkward position here for this Corki as he's looking to chase down Bulldog. Does do a lot of damage, but there is the response. And he was just alone. The rest of the team had already backed away.
Yeah, that felt very desperate. And Berserker, so strong, so quick, just to dash over and basically two-tap him.
Yeah.
I think Bro spent so much time hanging around the top side, never really did anything, and then they're the ones to get collapsed on. So DNF had to take the Arakan there, now can look towards the Dragon as well.
It's a big advantage at the same time. Bro really getting punished for their indecision. And this is actually something that DNF have been doing pretty consistently in their matches as well. They have sort of this paralyzing moment at the end of the mid-game, but that's exactly what Bro are going through.
I think with the engage tools Bro have, if they just started the Arakan at any point in the last like 2 minutes, I think it would have gone better than this.
Yeah.
And even if the game had just been lost off the back of it, well, it's okay, you tried, but this just felt like such a...
And if Hype is going in, he needs the rest of his team to decide to go in as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, everyone from DNF was just like, what is he doing? Let's just kill him. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Let's just kill the Arakan now. And then it was just such a weird situation. The thing is as well, he could have just backed away. He wasn't forced to go in there.
Nope.
It was very weird. But yeah, now DNF, we've had a lot of up and down in this game. They've finally sort of gotten a more major lead, right? They have the Arakan buff in pocket. 3 dragons now, 1 away from Soul.
Yeah, the pendulum has stopped swinging. It is now just in DNF's favor as Closer to go between the worlds here, and does just put himself in a very uncomfortable spot.
Yeah.
I'm going to say unforced error on that one, as Dudu wants to get the kill. Pioshik is going to deny it.
There was definitely a way in which he could completely escape that situation, and that was not it.
It was not.
Yeah, especially he burned you could just flash out the right side of his ult and he's gone.
Yeah, something, maybe not year of Closer.
Well, we got the game of Closer.
We did get the game of Closer, that's true. Probably should have left it at that. As Croco on a little bit of a flank angle here.
Well, they find Bulldog. This could be a pick.
Could be an opportunity, as Tibbs is going to give away the position. It's a pretty optimistic Baron start as the culling comes through. That's a massive pulverize as Hype trying to keep himself alive. He's not going to be successful, but it is Berserker going down as well. And unfortunately, these wallets be heavy. And DNF, they just lose Berserker. Croco wasn't even interested.
Yeah, I mean, you see so much effort is put into taking down the Lucian. They finally get him. Their Corki's already dead. The rest of their team just getting demolished. So many people left alive on DNF. Croco's looking, but against an Annie, I'm not sure you're going to be able to find an angle to get close to that Baron. DNF healthy enough to slowly take this one, and yeah, Bulldog is playing bouncer, so it's going to be Baron secured here.
Yep, very nicely done. Locked up here by DNF, and they are not dropping the ball this time around.
Yeah, so, I mean, essentially...
Oh, do we have to?
If you're going to commit flat, just flash over the right here, but then he E'd backwards into it and then flashes over the left, which is just bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bit of an oopsie.
I would put it in the cons column.
But here, so Croco finds this great engage on a Berserker with the knockup from Polu, hype set a follow-up, but again, they commit everything to kill this Lucian, and they just trade AD carries and everyone just gets cleaned up immediately. It's like...
I like Croco was like, I've used my buttons, I'm out of here.
If Berserker was the Nexus, that would have been a great play. But he's not. And killing him doesn't win you the game, it doesn't even win you the fight. And the end result is they lose the fight, they lose the Baron, and DNF 5,000 gold ahead with Baron in pocket are in a pretty... Oh no, Croco.
Yeah, there's a bear, and he's dead. Bulldog going to be able to lock that one down.
That was pretty quick. A lot of magic resist shred in the Zani.
Yeah, Zani's actually extraordinarily strong, but Pyroshik is the biggest problem right now from what we can see. 706 on the Wukong.
There's multiple problems.
Yeah, you mentioned the 2-item spike. How about the 3-item spike?
Yeah, a lot of problems, not many solutions. Even the Rumble feels a little intimidating. The support Rumble's coming online.
He certainly is. He's only 720 gold behind. The inhibitor turret not going to be answered.
The Braum with Lock of Redemption, you know, he's putting up some numbers.
Yeah, Life actually doing it once again. Gets subbed in, looks real good. I mean, the bottom lane, honestly, went a whole lot better. You can imagine the matchup feels a whole lot better just in general, but I think the way they played it, also an improvement here as Closer ults behind him. This Aurora has not been the thing.
Yeah. And you know what I'm feeling pretty confident about? That Wukong Annie win rate in the Rise group.
Yeah, feeling like that Wukong Annie thing is going to continue looking good.
Yep, feeling pretty stable, pretty solid right now.
I think Game 3 is also going to be real weird.
I can't wait for it.
As
we were promised.
We've got so many power picks. Now just Fearless Band, right? Like the Aurora, the Gwen, the Vi, the Annie, Wukong, and Rumble all just missing.
Yeah.
The top lane matchup going to be kind of insane. Although it might just be Ornn Cho'Gath.
What's wrong with that?
Well, I mean, it is kind of fun. Oh, wow. We could actually have two of the greatest skins in the game. Gentleman Cho'Gath and the Train Driver Ornn. Oh my
That'd
goodness. Be peak. Choo-choo, up you go. Wonderful. DNF just going to be clearing out the last remaining inner turret here. As the bros, I don't know how you really even throw the Hail Mary. That's the roughest part of this.
I think you just send it, start a fight.
They're going to look for it. Between Worlds available again here for Closer, but the inhibitor is just going to be dead, and Berserker just culls Closer. And he is out of here.
Yeah, sooner rather than later.
Yeah, we're going to have to go for some sort of something, but Polu's just dead. And the bros, they're like, no, this is not the time.
Probably at some point before your Nexus dies. Generally is a good time to fight. Any time before your Nexus dies.
That would be a good option. Let's see whether they can make that one happen as Morgan goes golden. First Nexus turret is looking to go down though, as Between Worlds is actually employed. Bulldog down pretty low, but unfortunately it's not low enough as the bros just gonna get incinerated by this support Rumble. He picks up a double kill. Redemption for Dudu as the Nexus goes down, and DNF will bring us to a Game 3 this time.
And honestly, there were moments in the mid-game where it's a little bit up and down for DNF, but, you know, the place where we've given them the most criticism, the place where they've struggled the most, closing games out, no hesitation.